You are listening to Chapter 3, Lesson 3 of Form 4 Cameroon History. Cameroon General Education. Narrated by Wacheseh Academy. The Fumban Constitutional Conference, July 17 to 21, 1961. Objectives of the conference: to adopt a constitution for the union between British Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon. To decide on the structure and function of the executive, such as the procedure for electing the president, powers and competence of state and federal government. To decide the structure and functions of the legislature. To decide on the legal system to be adopted. To decide on the venue for the national capital. To decide the official language. To decide the national anthem, motto, and flag to be adopted. To decide on the issue of the national currency to be used. To decide on the issue of human rights. Decide on the nationality to be used in the Union. To decide the fate of institutions functioning in British Southern Cameroon strange to the Republic of Cameroon. To decide the fate of British Southern Cameroonians serving in the Nigerian police. Major decisions taken at the conference. The federal system was to be adopted, named the Federal Republic of Cameroon, comprising two equal states, namely East Cameroon and West Cameroon. The Federal Republic of Cameroon was to be headed by the president, assisted by the vice president. Both had to come from different states. The president was given full executive powers. He was to be head of state government, magistracy, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. The establishment of 4 assemblies with a single chamber comprising 50 deputies, in Yaoundé, with 10 seats reserved for West Cameroon. The English legal system, as well as the customary court system, were to be practiced in West Cameroon, while the French legal system was to be practiced in East Cameroon. The national capital was agreed to be in Yaoundé. The national language was Breton and French all over the territory. The national flag should be green, red, yellow with 2 stars on the green color to symbolize the 2 federated states. The national motto should be peace, work, fatherland. A single nationality for all Cameroonians. Human rights were enshrined in the constitution, such as freedom of speech, press, association, movement, religion, etc. A single currency for the federation, the CFA francs. Reasons for the adoption of the federal constitution. The Fumban Conference. British Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon have been separated for more than 45 years, which made the unitary system unrealistic in 1961. High cost involved, lack of sufficient funds in West Cameroon, and need for a strong government to overcome the UPC. President Ahidjo of the Republic of Cameroon had promised Foncha a federal system of government should there be unity. Population disparity between the territories influenced the adoption of the federal system. Linguistic differences influenced it. Economic differences. The Republic of Cameroon was more advanced. President Ahidjo of the Republic of Cameroon was reluctant to use the resources of the Republic of Cameroon to develop West Cameroon. The British and French experts, as well as the Afro-Asian countries in the UNO, had encouraged both leaders to work toward federation. Administrative differences. How decisions taken at the Fumban Conference reflected the aspirations of British Southern Cameroonians. Secured the legal rights to elect the president and his vice by universal suffrage. The president and its vice were to come from 2 different federated states. The term of office of the president was 5 years, and the president could be re-elected in another term. The Southern Cameroon's House of Chiefs and customary courts were maintained. Regional assemblies were to be created to preserve the historical heritage of both states. English and French were adopted as official languages. Each state was allowed to practice its own legal system. Higher education was to be managed at the federal. How the Fumban decisions failed to reflect the aspirations of Southern Cameroonians. Failed to secure a loose federation or confederation. They failed to have their federal capital in Yaoundé. Failed to secure a dual nationality. Failed to obtain a bicameral legislature for the federation. Failed to secure a quota system of ministerial posts for the state. Failed to secure the rights to a legal secession from the federation. Reasons for the failure of the British Southern Cameroon's delegation in the Fumban Conference. Foncha was reluctant and did not make use of the British expert Sir Sidney Phillipson assigned to him. Foncha rather wrote a petition against him to the UN Secretary-General for interference on Cameroonian internal matters when Sir Philipson insisted to know the terms of the reunification he was negotiating with President Ahidjo of the Republic of Cameroon secretly. Foncha refused to show Ahidjo's draft constitution to the Southern Cameroon's delegates during the Bamenda Conference. Foncha had failed to secure a legal document endorsed by Britain and UNO on the basis of reunification during the pre-plebiscite talks with Ahidjo. The greed of Foncha and Muna. Southern Cameroons had not achieved independence and sovereignty before the Fumban Conference, unlike the Republic of Cameroon, which already had its independence. A loose federation was unrealistic because Ahidjo needed the power to suppress the UPC rebellion. Ahidjo gave limited time for discussion. The UNO had fixed October 1, 1961 as the latest date for independence. The Yaoundé Tripartite Conference, August 1961. It was held to complete the unfinished work of the Fumban Conference and formalities for the transfer of power. Delegates came from the Republic of Cameroon, Southern Cameroons, and the United Kingdom. It was agreed that Southern Cameroons serving in the Nigerian police army and civil service should return home. They agreed on what should be the federal service. They agreed that CFA francs was to replace the Nigerian pound sterling in 1962. They agreed on the procedure for the transfer of the sovereignty of British Southern Cameroons from British to President Ahidjo. They accepted October 1 as the reunification day. Factors that favored reunification of Cameroon: traditional ties and friendship, trading activities, marriages, and contact across the boundary of Southern and French Cameroons. The many years of social and economic interaction between the people of both the eastern and western parts of Cameroon could not be abruptly ended since the partition of 1916. The dislike of Igbo or Nigerian donation in Southern Cameroons contributed to reunification. The results of the plebiscite of February 1961 convinced even people who were skeptical that the reunification of Cameroon was at hand. British social and economic neglect. Geographical nearness and interactions. Pro-unification parties. Development in French Cameroon. Development elsewhere in the world, for example Togoland. Factors that worked against reunification. The differences that existed in both Cameroons, especially their colonial policies. In the territories, some politicians opposed reunification. For example, E.M. Ndeli of Southern Cameroons and André-Marie Mbida of French Cameroon. Geographical link to Nigeria. Band of the UPC in Southern Cameroons. Replaced the Richards Constitution with the Macpherson Constitution. Used to financial and commercial threats on Southern Cameroons. The Federal Constitution. Federalism is a principle of government that defines the relationship between the central government at the national level and its constituent units at the regional, state, or local levels. Power and authority are allocated between the national and local governmental units such that each unit is delegated a spare of power and authority only it can exercise, while other powers must be shared. Cameroon was a federation of two states, the states of West Cameroon and the state of East Cameroon. Cameroon Federation lasted from October 1961 to May 1972.